Bonjour, je m'appelle donc Arnaud Nazare-Aga, je suis né à Paris, j'ai un atelier.
I'm an artist, I am a sculptor, and I'm also a painter. I live in Thailand, in Bangkok, and the Saint-Exupéry Foundation has asked me to create some collections, the collections that are adapted for blind people that have been presented in Hong Kong. Now, this collection was presented in 2015. Maybe some of you have already seen this exposition. For me, the challenge was to create some things that were inspired by a literary work, also inspired by drawing. I wanted to express the spirituality of the text through sculpture. This sculpture has been presented at Pacific Place for Christmas 2015. I am a sculptor. I have been a sculptor since I was 18 years old, and actually I adapt my works for non-seeing people, for blind people, so they can experiment a text. The idea is to make a text accessible for blind people. This book, The Little Prince, has already been translated to more than 300 languages, including Braille language. And recently it was also translated into Korean Braille for blind people and for other languages for blind people. It has been translated into many languages and dialects several times. It's one of the most translated books, the second most translated book in the world after the Bible. This was the introduction for my work. Now I will give the floor to Michelle Shen, who is the illustrator, together with Aria Liu, who, we had this drawing by her over there, and they will speak in Cantonese, I think.
係，大家好，你好。咁我就會用廣東話嚟同大家分享嘅，因為我見台下所有大部分嘅人都係香港人啦，咁所以就用廣東話會親切少少，同埋希望都唔會難到呢個翻譯者啦，因為我都會用啲比較本土嘅語言去解釋呢本書嘅以一個香港人嘅角度。係啦，咁其實我諗相信大家都知道咧，其實啱啱咧我哋有一本廣東話版嘅《小王子》咧出版咗嘅。咁其實我今日主要咧就想從一個比較文化啲嘅角度咧去同大家探討呢本書啦。咁睇下大家即係多啲了解本書其實同其餘嗰300本嘅翻譯有咩唔同啦，同埋裡面嘅圖畫究竟我哋點樣去融入咗香港，去做一個比較特別啲嘅書俾大家咁樣咯。咁首先簡單介紹下我哋個團隊先啦。咁其實個翻譯者咧就叫 Thomas 嘅，咁但係佢而家咧啱啱咧就唔喺香港。咁 interestingly 咧，其實咧佢而家係喺Lyon 係旅行緊嘅，咁就係正咧就係小王子個作者嘅出生地。咁呢個真係真正嘅文化交流啦。咁我就係 Michelle 啦，跟住 Cheryl 就係 calligrapher 啦，咁我隔離 Aria 咧就係都係 illustrator 嚟嘅，係啦。咁首先講下啦，其實我哋平時講嘅廣東話究竟對於我哋嚟講係有啲咩重要性咧？咁呢個我會略講嘅。咁廣東話咧其實咧係可能同即係驚喜地咧係全球Top 30 most popular language in the world， 即係我哋即係頭30最多人講嘅語言嚟嘅。咁佢雖然咧係冇一個好所謂正規嘅寫法啦，即係可能有一個 writing system 係唔 standardize 嘅。咁但係其實咧佢嗰個即係佢嗰個 verbal 或者係用口溝通嗰個 system 咧已經係好成熟㗎啦。咁同埋佢係一個 好完整嘅 language 啦，佢其實唔係只係一個方言咁簡單，佢係一個喺 linguistic 嘅角度嚟講咧，係一個好正統或者係好完整嘅語言嚟嘅。咁但係咧，其實咧好可惜咧，好多人都只係將廣東話當咗一個方言，而非一個好完整嘅語言啦。咁點解咧？其實又有好多原因嘅。咁嗰啲原因自己可以即係我哋大家都可以探討下啦。咁但係最緊要我都係想喺呢度表達返，其實廣東話對香港人嚟講真係好重要啦。咁你下低都見到其實有兩幅圖咧，係即係你可以見到其實外國人咧都知道其實廣東話對於香港人嚟講係有幾咁重要，同埋語言對於一個地方啦，唔好講國家啦，係一個好重要嘅文化嘅產物咁樣咯。咁你可以睇到我特別想講嘅咧，就係右手邊咧，其實係一個挪威嘅老師嚟，咁佢咧係教外國人講廣東話嘅。咁佢自己都用廣東話講話，冇廣東話嘅香港唔係香港啦。咁所以其實我覺得大家都即係身為香港人都要諗下啊，廣東話對自己嚟講係即係自己個地方係咩價值咁樣咯。咁我都想講下小王子喺香港而家有啲咩唔同嘅，即係幾咁 popular 啦。咁有一個小王子甜品嘅，咁其實已經即係以小王子嚟做一個 theme 去做餐廳啦。咁好似即係 OpenRice 好似而家執咗，不過唔緊要啦，係啦。咁但係係啦，咁即係你可以見到啲甜品都係以小王子嚟做一個 theme 啦。咁然之後下低都有一個即係當代舞劇場都用咗小王子嚟做一個即係表演嘅即係節目咁樣啦。咁所以其實我覺得大家咧對小王子都唔陌生嘅，係啦。咁我哋呢本書講翻呢本書先啦。其實呢本書有咩咁特別咧？咁因為其實我哋咧係好即係我都講咗啦，廣東話對我哋嚟講好重要嘅。咁 Thomas 其實都想保護翻廣東話啦。咁所以咧佢咧特別咧係喺呢一個系列裡面咧加咗一個 session 咧就係 for 所謂外國人啊鬼佬啦，咁就去了解翻廣東話嘅以英文係啦。咁同埋前面咧其實咧都用咗廣東話嚟解釋翻即係可能廣東話嘅音標啊，或者係歷史啊咁樣啦。咁令到我哋自己人又識得廣東話，鬼佬又可以了解多啲廣東話。咁所以呢樣嘢咧，我覺得對於一啲 collectors， 因為其實好 Thomas 咧佢咧係好中意 collect 小王子嘅書嘅。咁因為小王子都翻譯咗300種語言啦，咁變相咧其實有好多唔同世界嘅旅行家咧都好中意 collect 小王子嘅書啦。咁變相其實我哋都想 cater 翻嗰啲 collectors 去俾佢哋一個好特別嘅 souvenir 咁樣咯。咁呢個就係我哋想着重嘅嘢。好啦，咁講到裡面嘅 visual representation， 即係我哋裡面用咗啲咩特別嘅元素去畫啲畫咧？咁其實咧想都介紹翻啦 Aria 咧其實係畫大部分裡面嘅 illustration 嘅，即係可能講緊比較貼近原著嘅畫咧，係 Aria 畫嘅。咁你見到其實呢一啲就係一啲 example 啦。咁佢其實都想用翻啲好色彩鮮豔嘅水彩嚟表達啦，貼近啲小王子作者想即係可能簡約嘅 style 去表達翻個故事啦。咁但係咧當中咧我哋其實都做咗一少少嘅 fine tune 嘅。咁你見到其實右手邊咧就會係原著比較簡單冇背景嘅小王子啦。咁左手邊咧就會係 Aria 自己將佢轉咗做夜景嘅。咁點解咧？其實因為咧我哋之後咧有一個係香港同埋小王子 mix 嘅一個插圖啦。咁我哋就想連住翻兩個先嘅。咁所以就會用夜景去做一個連接咯。咁其實我都想 show 俾大家睇咧，因為呢一幅畫咧就我畫嘅，咁都快介即係都俾大家睇下一個 video 就係我畫嘅過程咁樣啦。 係啦，咁大家睇唔睇到？係啦，咁你一路睇我一路講啦。咁其實咧點解我會想用香港嘅夜景？顧名思義，香港嘅夜景係非常出名啦。咁你都見到我畫小王子咧，其實都想比較真實啲嘅個樣，因為我想俾大家感覺佢好似真係嚟咗咁樣，咁就已經跳出咗去本書一啲好簡約嘅圖啦。咁已經係出現咗喺大家嘅身邊，可能甚至乎係喺你隔離個位都係小王子咁樣。咁所以咧佢就會比較真實啲啦。咁同埋我覺得即係嗰啲星星咧都比較想貼近翻原著多啲嘅，咁就令到即係好似遊離喺真實同埋虛幻之間嗰種感覺。咁呢個就係我畫呢一幅畫嘅係啦個設計靈感啦。係啦，咁就完成咗啦。咁咧另一幅就係我呢個都係我畫㗎啦。咁就會係以蛇吞象嗰個畫去做一個靈感。咁你見到其實咧嗰個外形已經變咗到獅子山，咁裡面咧就會係香港咁樣咯。咁呢個就會想融入故事同埋香港嘅一個插圖咁樣。係啦，咁其實我個presentation 就講到呢度啦。咁都想同大家講翻，其實我哋全部人都係一個旅行家，係一個 collector 收藏家，係一個大人。其實但係心底裏都有一個小王子咁樣咯。係啦，咁係啦，咁呢度我就到呢度啦。
Merci. Maybe I ask you some question. How did you meet first time the Little Prince?
What do you mean by first time?
First time, how did you get to know the Little Prince?
Yes. 咁我講翻廣東話啦，係啦。咁其實我喺中學嘅時候已經接觸到小王子㗎啦。咁但係嗰陣時睇嘅時候咧，其實並唔係好深刻啦，因為講緊嗰陣時都入世未深，同埋即係對於裡面好多寓意啊，都唔係好了解。咁所以其實我都睇完就算咁樣嘅，係啦。咁但係自從廣東話版出現咗之後咧，咁我就再睇翻啦。我係有喊嘅，係啦，去到最尾咁，即係我覺得每個階段睇翻小王子，其實嗰個感受都好唔同嘅。咁我相信台下大家都會有一個即係同一個感覺啦，係啦。咁大家都成年人，我相信睇嘅時候都有一番意味咁樣嘅。咁呢個就係小王子嗰個魔法或者精髓咁樣咯，係啦。
Okay, and regarding the drawing, so you decided to be very close to the original drawings and transform a bit the drawing by a deeper color. And why did you choose also to change? I mean, to keep the same tone but darker and deeper? Maybe Aria can answer. Yeah.
其實我喺畫呢個小王子嗰陣，其實因為原本係想用翻自己嘅嗰種 style 嚟畫嘅，但係因為我哋嘅翻譯員咁佢就比較想將呢個小王子變翻做即係比較跟翻呢個 original copy 啦，咁所以佢就會叫我即係想我跟翻最 basic 原作嘅嗰種味道嚟畫出嚟嘅，但係因為我就覺得可能最 original 嗰個Little Prince 嘅嗰個 copy， 佢啲畫風就比較簡陋，同埋可能就顏色冇咁鮮豔啦，即係會有啲沉悶嘅感覺。但係我又想即係多啲人會睇呢本廣東話版小王子，即係就想因為我做插畫嘅原因都係想因為through 呢個 painting 嚟令到大家都會感受到插畫師嗰份心意，咁所以就用咗啲比較鮮豔啲嘅顏色啦，咁就希望將呢個快樂帶翻去俾香港人度咯。
Thank you. And you, how did you discover the Little Prince? How did you first get the book in your hand?
其實我細細個，因為媽咪佢就會俾我睇好多唔同嘅書嘅，但係其實當時就真係 to be honest 係真係睇唔明嘅完全，同埋因為 Little Prince 咧佢講緊一個一啲寓意出嚟 ，instead of 講緊一個描述一個故事出嚟啦。咁所以其實當時覺得真係唔好睇嘅，但係就一直都冇睇到啦。跟住去到當 Thomas 佢揾我嚟畫呢個插畫嘅時候，咁就為咗令到更加貼近、更加知道當時個作者聖修伯里即係個插畫師佢嘅諗法啦。咁就嘗試就睇咗個英文版，同埋都嘗試用 Google Translate 睇咗個法文版。咁當時就慢慢。因為係咁睇，所以就會慢慢咁越睇越明得多啲。咁之後就都有俾佢感動到嘅，即係覺得 Little Prince 佢唔單止係一個故事咁簡單咯，佢都係教識咗我哋好多嘢。即係其實有時呢啲道理，好似其中入邊一句説話啦，就話真正嘅嘢咧，都要用個心先睇到嘅，你用眼其實係真係睇唔到。其實呢啲嘢我哋好細個可能就會知道咗，但係當你慢慢 grow up， 即係當你慢慢長大咗之後，你就會俾身邊嘅好多嘢所蒙騙咗啊、遮蔽咗啊，跟住就慢慢就唔記得咗呢個咁重要嘅意思咯。所以係咯，我都係 through 呢個插畫先重新再 pick up 翻《小王子》呢本書嘅。
Merci. Donc on a tous, on a reçu ce livre qui est un texte et nous avons dû. Yeah, I can speak in English too. So all of us artists, we had this book in English. I mean, in a text. Sorry, and then we have to interpret by drawings and to make feel the what the meaning, what was the deep meaning of the text through drawings, through colors, and yeah, it was difficult work without. I mean, trying to be faithful to the original book, but also making some interpretation, personal interpretation. Okay, thank you. Cédric, maybe you can do your presentation. So Cédric is a French illustrator, and he didn't work on the Little Prince book, but he worked on the life of the writer of the Little Prince, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, who born in 1900, and not so many people knows his life, and so Cédric did this book with what's the name of the writer?
Antoine de Saint-Exupéry.
No, this one.
Pierre Roland Saint-Dizier.
Okay, so he's the one who did the scenario, and Cédric Fernandez did the drawing. So please, can you explain your work? Thank you.
Donc, bonjour déjà tout le monde. Alors,
Okay, so me, well, I'm the illustrator of comics. I'm the illustrator of this book, Saint-Exupéry, which was published in France. There is no other version, unfortunately. I'm going to explain to you a little bit the way in which I work, why I work so, and also the people with whom I drew this. Now, these are the two albums that we have published already. This comic, Saint-Exupéry comic, as my colleague said, it deals with the life of the author, not the life of the Little Prince. Of course, the work is always close to its author, so we can understand very quickly that the Little Prince is actually Saint-Exupéry, and with these comics here, with these albums here, we can see the little signs, the elements that are going to take Saint-Exupéry to draw the rose, to draw the little sheep. Here we show how all these elements have their equivalents in real life, and we have drawn them in these albums. It is important, it is interesting to notice how his life is there. Now, the album that we have on the left, it tells us the period in which he was a postal pilot. His pilot side, if you will. I don't know if you know that. Well, I didn't have any idea of how. Okay, how do you perceive Saint-Exupéry here in Asia? For us, he's a legend. In France, he's a legend. Everybody has read The Little Prince. Everybody knows about him. Everybody knows that he is a writer, but not many people know what he did for a living. So with these comics here, we actually show what he did in his life. First, we begin the album with his beginnings as a postal pilot. I don't know if you know what I mean with the postal pilot. It was the start of air mail. This allowed for communications, for mail to be delivered much faster than by train or by boat, and this air mail opened up new roads, and Saint-Exupéry was one of the pioneers of these new technologies, of this new industry. He would go alone, risking everything, because these were unknown territories. He would go through stages. He would create postal lines, postal services, and we can see how this is the beginning of his life, the beginning of the air mail in Africa. When I tell you about danger, we need to know that we have World War I had just finished, had just ended, and the planes that the air mail was using were airplanes that were surplus from the First World War. So when the Arabs would see these planes flying above their territories, they would think that it was a military plane that would come to wage war against them. So it was very frequent. It happened very frequently that they would try to shoot the plane down. Also, planes would crash. Planes would crash very frequently, and very frequently the Arab tribes would capture the pilots, and after they would demand ransom, or they would just execute them. So it was really dangerous. We also show in this album how Saint-Exupéry was somebody that went all the way in. He did what he had to do, even if it was dangerous. And his way of life was somebody that lived fully. We will see this further, but we need to be aware of this, because his entire life he never did things halfway. He always went to the end with it. He took risks. He crashed 9 times. He was rescued. He was a hostage. He was captured by the Moors, by the Arabs in Morocco, and he was rescued. He was never sure that he would come back, because he could be killed at any time. So he would go with all his diplomatic acumen, his diplomatic skills. There was this sense already of actually listening and talking with other people, and he created links with these tribes. This is why he stayed many years in Africa, Cape Jibin. This is a fortress which had a branch of the airmail, of the French airmail. It was assigned. He was appointed the chief of this branch because he had the contacts with these tribes, with these local people. He was sensitive to the needs and the culture of the tribes down there. And so he was somebody that by that time he had these advanced ideas. Now, as for Tome 2, Tome 2 deals with his further life. It's the period in which he's already at World War II with this conflict in Europe, and Saint-Exupéry, who he arrived to the United States. And in fact, he didn't flee the war, no. He wanted to defend his country, defend his fatherland. And this time, there was this manipulation in France with the Pétain, with Marshal Pétain's regime, and they wanted to make him a collaborator. And particularly in France, they wanted to make an example of him. They wanted to make propaganda out of him, but he escaped this. However, he continued his struggle in the United States. When I talk about struggle, I mean he spoke in the radio, he continued writing books about this conflict, especially he wrote articles. He was someone that was engaged, someone who wanted to convince people back in his own land that they had to support his country. He wanted to fight the rise of Nazism. He knew that the United States would intervene in Europe in the end, and he wanted to. He went to see people. He wanted to convince people that they needed to intervene. He didn't stay put for a long time because he was already kind of old for flying by that time. It was one of his passions. He started flying when he was 13, 14 years old, maybe. He always tinkered with planes, with small gliders, with bicycles. He didn't have his parents' authorization, but still he still flew on his own. He educated himself. Well, this authorization, he didn't have. Actually, his parents didn't actually know what he was doing, but when they found out, they actually weren't very happy about it. But he had this idea in his mind from a very young age, and at the end of his life, it was a time in which he returned to being a pilot for France. And for a long time, he tried to convince people, the army, the American army. But actually, he needed to obtain authorization from the Americans to fly in their own country. So he was already very old. He was already very old to fly anymore. Even they had to actually manually help him to enter the plane. But he still wanted to go. He wanted to defend his ideas, and defending his fatherland. He wanted to defend everything that France represented. Okay, now I'm going to be a little bit slowly. So here we have the team, the publishing team in Europe, because this is mainly an European album. I don't know if you have something similar here. We work regularly in a team of 3 people. We have the writer, the guy in the middle, who is also a journalist in his everyday life, and the one to the right, Frank Perrault, he's the colorist, which means I think it's a very hard work to do, to be a good colorist. I work with him because well, the colors are important in the works of Saint-Exupéry. When we see the Little Prince, we have this sweetness of design, the sweetness in the drawings and in the colors. It's almost naive. And it continues with these colors that are very soft, very sweet. Maybe this is a contradiction. Maybe there was this need for having this softness, but I'm improvising a little bit. I don't know if you would think something. You have any idea about it? Okay, well, we have tried to preserve these watercolor ideas so as to continue, so as to preserve the idea. This idea that he was somebody that went to the end of his ideas, to the end of his intentions, but he kept this sweetness, this softness. He wanted something. He wanted softness in the end. Now I'm going to show you some of the stages of my work. For Saint-Exupéry, which is a very historical series, we are working when we collaborate with historians, so I cannot improvise. So the next album is gonna take almost a year of work. So I am based on pictures, on photographs. This is where I take the elements that I'm going to incorporate into my drawings. This is my documentation, so I can know where I can go to. So we can see some archive photos. We can see how my drawings, the drawings are mine, but the colors are Frank's. We are working like this, and we're trying to stay true to the photographs. Now, we don't have many pictures, so many of these drawings are just improvised. They are originals, but we are always gonna use, I don't know, for example, when we see his watch on the album, is the real watch that he used. When we see, for example, we can see, for example, a piece of furniture that he had somewhere in his house. This is real because we have copied it from a photograph. So even the lift, even the elevator that we can see in some of the in certain parts of the comic, it's identical to the real lifts that were used in those times. The numbers of the planes, for example, the identification numbers on the wings of the planes or on the sides of the planes are also real. These are the real numbers. So every time that you see a number, we would be told by historians, you know what, this number cannot be here because this plane had already crashed by then, something like that. We can also see on the second tone the American period, for example. We can see to the left this building where he lived when he arrived to New York. We also see the hospital in the middle. The Hollywood hospital where he spent some time. And to the right we can see one of his friend's house where he lived regularly. So we are trying to be true to the archive images. Once more we can see some images about the crash. And for visibility reasons I have changed some angles, we have changed some little details, but we keep the original idea. We can see the plane to the right is one of the But actually, well, this plane is one of the real planes that he actually flew. We can also mention the crash that he had in Libya. From this crash, we can see that the little prince was born. It was Saint-Exupéry with the intention of breaking a record from Paris to Saigon in Vietnam. He was almost forced to break his record. He didn't prepare his travels very well. He wasn't very careful. He was almost forced to take off. And he took off with a plane that was not really suitable for breaking this record. Well, he could have. He didn't take enough water, actually. When he crashed, he didn't have enough water for surviving. We can notice this on the notes by the mechanics. They didn't have but a small flask of water and a small flask of wine and coffee. They didn't have water, they didn't have food, just coffee and wine in the middle of the Libyan desert. This image is one of the most famous ones of the crashes that he had, which shows us, well, this picture was made once they were found. It wasn't made by them. They thought that they were gonna die. Maybe this is when the inspiration for the little prince came to him. He knew that he didn't have a long time left, many days left, so he decided to come up with the idea here. Now, as I was telling you, the Little Prince is the life of Saint-Exupéry. Now, this starts here with this crash that they had in Libya. Now here I show you the stages for my drawings. What you have to the left is what we call the storyboard. It's the same thing that we do for a film, for a movie. I don't know if you know, but we have a storyboard in order to know what we are going to have as an environment, how we're going to set up the cameras, etc., etc. We often begin with a storyboard. It's the same for a comic. So I start, you can see the drawing. We can see that it was made by a child, maybe, because it doesn't have a lot of quality. But the important point is to have the narrative, the story set down. We need to see what details we're gonna add later. Maybe we'll have some details here or there. Later we clean it up. It doesn't take that long. I usually do it with these formats that are really small, just some centimeters. And the text, at the text, of course, I already had the text ready. Yes, of course, I will have a script before anything, of course. Well, but it's not included here. So, first they give me a script. They give me that text. It's the same principle as for a movie. We have dialogues. We have the text. I will see box 1 and a night in the desert, a crashed plane in the distance. It will say so. Well, it's not the night, of course, here, but here we can see the crashed plane. We can see that it's actually in the morning. We can see the sun that is rising. The one who writes the script, he tells you how many images. Does he tell you how many images he needs for the text or not? Well, I usually do it on my own. I have this tendency. I actually fit the text to my needs, to how many squares I need. Maybe I will develop it a little bit more or less than what he's telling me. This allows me to enlarge some ideas. Maybe we'll have some boxes some further extra boxes which will make for a richer reading, or some changes that will be faster or slower than others. And for me, this is important. It is important to have this rhythm for the telling of the story. After this, we have, well, I will simply take the ideas from the storyboard and then I will transfer it into paper. I will do it more into detail. I will do the most definitive drawing possible, so that, well, because at this stage we can still do some corrections. We can make some amendments. But if you work with actual, if you don't work with actual pencils, then at least you need to have an album per year. This allows me to work faster. I have to find ways in order to avoid remaking pages because I made a mistake. And about the text, so you need to cut, you need to, how do you do it? How does it happen with the text? It is true that I didn't have the H. Okay. No, I didn't have it here. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. But usually I do it because I design it, I draw it with the text already inside, with this globe, with the dialogue. Maybe sometimes if I have all the text, all the dialogue boxes in there, maybe they will eat up my space. Or in any case, we would go too fast and we wouldn't have the perception of the drawing that we all had. We have the inconvenience that in case I think it's just half a second. Each idea, when we read the reader of a comic, he has an impression, an idea about the drawing than a visibility. He doesn't really realize, but he doesn't really look at the drawing. He just reads. This could be a work of art, of course, but the way in which the reader just casually reads the book or the comic book after having read it, this depends on the speed that he uses. This will affect the way in which we design it, the way in which we draw. If we used either 2 weeks or 2 months for a single page, okay, now where do we add the dialogue boxes? Now, dialogue boxes need to be marked regarding where the eyes of the reader will be. I want to direct the eyes of the reader somewhere in my pages. So in the script, I have a phrase. I have this phrase that was already written. Usually I have this script and I have this block of text. And I think of the images. I think it would be interesting to divide the text so as to have this vision that will search all the images, to have these boxes on each box, these dialogue boxes on each drawing box. This is a little bit complex as an idea, but that's it. This is the third, I want to extend the story without cutting the text. I want to have these impact points. The dialogue box will be a little bit isolated from the page. It is a rhythm that we want to achieve. It suits my drawing style, but it also contributes to it. So we need to think, thanks for mentioning it, actually. Of course, dialog box will be important. It is interesting to make it visible already here at this time in the storyboard. Now let's continue. We have the image on the left. We only have the ink, the inkling. As we can see, well, my pages are kind of large. They are almost 50-60 centimeters long. This allows us to, well, we work in this large format so that when we get to the final stage, when we reduce it, this gives an impression of details, of being more detailed, and it allows us to hide some mistakes maybe. And further, when we work at a larger scale, we have a better perspective on things. We can see the dunes, we can see how we work with softer ideas, softer colors, but if we worked at a smaller scale, it would be harder to do this, of course. So I'm not gonna go further on this. I just used ink here. I don't think I need to explain to you about the inkling process. Now the following image is the coloring. As I was telling you, that colors are something that I work with a very good watercolorist. He knows how to deal with light, and we can see the quality of his work here. For comic books, we have a level that costs a lot. Actually, it's very expensive because this perspective, this three-dimensional perspective with the textures and the backgrounds, well, we need to have some considerable talent for achieving these effects. I am very happy to being able to work with this friend of mine who has this amazing talent. I continue to work with him, and I work with him. I have worked with him for a very long time, for several comics, different comics. This is another page. I'm gonna just go over quickly with it. The storyboard, as we can see, the drawing, the drafting. He is taking off, as we can see. There is there's a difference of several seconds here. Now the inking and the coloring. We can see how the coloring is the most important stage, of course, because it gives you the real idea of how it would look like. Now here, we have several dialogue boxes here. We can see the different stages or the facets, different stages on his personality, the personality of Saint-Exupéry. He was a humanist. He was somebody that spoke to people. He was somebody that took time to understand other people, their way of thinking, their beliefs. Because in Africa, for example, he tried to understand people. He didn't stay only with only his own thoughts. He was somebody that would go, who had he loved women. And as we can see, maybe that's his wife or one of his lovers, but we didn't actually dwell on this, so I'm gonna leave it there. And you can read the book if you're more interested in this. We know that he was passionate about flying. As we can see, he felt alive when he was flying, when he was in the air. It was not something about ego. It was, but well, it could be related to his love of women, but he loved being in the air. He explains that when he was up there in the air, he would have a different point of view towards men and people, towards the land that was below. This is a reflection. This is all these thoughts, all these ideas. Very often when he flew, he meditated, he took notes. After that, he would expand them, he would elaborate further on them. Sometimes he couldn't see anything when he was up there, when he would be over the sea maybe. So he would explain that he would see the stars and he didn't know if they were fires or stars. He wouldn't see but a light. Everything else was darkness, so he wouldn't know where he would be. He wouldn't know whether it was the sea or the earth, and nobody could help him because his mechanic on board, he would be sleeping. He would see this light and he would start considering. Maybe it would be the same as in the Little Prince. Of course, stars are omnipresent. They are everywhere in this text and in the Little Prince. We can see this association when he flies during the night. He has but the stars to navigate. Radio was barely starting. The only compass that he had were the stars. His altimeter was not working when he was trying to break the record Paris-Saigon, and this altimeter was indicating something that was not true, was giving false data. Yeah, it was a miracle that they didn't kill themselves. It was a miracle that they crashed in the way they crashed, and they didn't crash head on. Even they just crashed in a better way. Now, of course, in these stars are very important for the life of Saint-Exupéry and also for the Little Prince. Now, the last image we have is of somebody going towards other people, somebody that actually wanted to engage people. Saint-Exupéry loved open spaces. He loved to be alone. He loved to look at things. Maybe he would think, now I am here on this plane, looking at the stars, looking at the sky, looking at the sun. But when he would think that he would be dying, he would say, well, I am lucky because I am alone and I can see all these, and I am conscious, I am aware that life is but fireworks. Life is brief. He loved all this. He loved these great landscapes. He loved to have adventures like this. It was a part of his ideas. I don't know how many kilometers he flew. That's in the South America, right? On the Andes range, right? Yes. Now, these are other images. We are, of course, on the Little Prince here. These images show how, for example, this dog that we can see here is his publisher's dog. And everybody called that dog the sheep. The lamb, sorry. So maybe this word, the lamb, inspired the lamb on the Little Prince, but in reality it was a dog. And then we also have him writing here. We have his publisher coming here to see him, and he told her, I picked up your dog's name and introduced him here on the story. And he actually had designed a lamb. The rose rose represents a woman, Consuelo, who was magnificent, but Consuelo, she was an Argentinian woman, and she had a very strong personality. And both of them, they have a very strong personality, so they had a rocky relationship. And the fox that is a fennec, it's a desert fox, which he had actually seen when he was in the desert, in Cap Jupin. So the fox is a descendant of the fennec. Everything comes together. I'm not going to explain everything, of course, because I'm going to let you discover it on my book, of course. Now, if you have any questions, thanks a lot, Cédric. Thanks for your presentation. Now, the questions and answers. If anybody would like to make any questions to Aria, Michelle, Cédric, there is a microphone somewhere over there. Okay, here we have it. It's coming. Now we're waiting for the microphone. Cédric, so you have these two books on the life of Saint-Exupéry, Tome 1 and Tome 1 here and Tome 2. They haven't been translated into Chinese, right? Nope, not yet. And in English, it's a work in progress, yes. Will there be a third volume? Yes, of course. We are drafting it right now, as I was telling you. Tome 1 was the beginning of his career in the air mail service. The second one covers the period to his death. On the third tome, we will have him in Latin America. This, as we saw when he was flying above the Andes. We're going to develop this. We're going to have this great moment, and we're going to have this other. Maybe we will have another volume, but I'm not really sure about it. Thanks. Now the microphone. Is there any questions? Are there any questions for somebody? To Aria, Michelle, or Cédric? Or Arnaud?
Okay.
Okay, so no questions. So everything is clear. Good. So you did some work before live. You want to continue or? Sorry. Oh, Michelle, you would like to add something?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
You said everything you want to say already.
大家有冇咩問題啊？可以隨便問嘅喎。
We have one question over there.
Hi, Cédric. I would like to know that just from the introduction of your profiles, we know that you. Yes, we know that your words most likely are about the aeronautics. So, do you have a moment that you would like to also become a pilot?
Well, of course, I was taking some pilot courses, but I stopped because it was very expensive. But yes, of course, that would be very interesting for me. That didn't happen to me so easily. I started working with people that were talking about planes all the time. It was something that happened when I was working my first comic. It was a bestseller, so the editors told me, okay, now we're going to continue this with flying stories. But fortunately for me, I was becoming interested in this subject, so I started taking courses. I started reading But right now I'm working with a comic that doesn't have anything to do with flying or with planes, so I need to take a little bit of a distance, to take distance from flying and planes. Any other question?
En fait, c'est la première qui est dure à démarrer.
Ouais, c'est ça.
In your presentation, you mentioned that The Little Prince is a very important publication in France. I'm just curious, when you do the illustration for the life of Saint-Exupéry,
Okay, for me, Saint-Exupéry was somebody that was very renowned before having written The Little Prince. Actually, he didn't actually see it published. He didn't see it in the bookshelves, but he was very renowned, very famous because of his other books, Nightfly and others. They are not novels, they are philosophical works. And I think that he already made his mark with this. Of course, The Little Prince is universal. It touches everybody, everywhere. And I think that this is this evidence. When we read The Little Prince, we cannot leave it aside. No matter our age, regardless of the elements. Well, I'm not gonna tell you what elements exactly, but in any case, we are gonna understand the principle. This attractiveness that people from all cultures have about this message. This is a very attractive message and attractive ideas.
This book is very spiritual. It's not just a story. It's really spiritual, and this spirituality is really universal. It's not linked to any religion. Something like is outside of religion, outside of a culture, outside of age, outside of background, educational background. You can be poor, you can be rich, you can understand it. But for France, I think it's because Antoine de Saint-Exupéry is a hero. Maybe also because he died as a hero. We never recover his body. What we did, we recover his bracelet about 20 years ago. And it was not where we want to find. He was not supposed to crash his plane at this place in front of Marseille. He was supposed to be on the east of France, southeast of France, so very far from the place where we found the bracelet. And from this time, even we didn't want to to find the plane. So for 10 years, after we found the bracelet, for 10 years we didn't make any research for the plane. We knew where it could be, but nobody were allowed to look for it. So it's like a hero who disappeared in the space, with the stars. But finally we found the plane, just to tell you. We found a plane which is not the plane of Saint-Exupéry. It's very strange. We found a plane, for the story, we found a plane. The diver who knew where was the plane, who got the authorization to find it, came down, catch a engine of a plane, and when they clean up the engine, they found it was an engine of Messerschmitt. I think it's a plane of a German plane, who belonged to a prince, not the little prince, but a big prince, a prince of Germany. There is a very strange story about this prince, because they found French doctor found the body, and when they found the plane of this German pilot, who was a prince, so finally the doctor said, "Oh, but I found a body," and they take back this body from the earth where it was inhumate, and then the family, the German family, could make a ceremony about this. So instead of finding the little prince, they found a German prince. There is a lot of story around the little prince. It's amazing, really amazing. Any other question? Yeah. Oh, okay. We have one, two. Yeah. Okay.
Bonjour, je poserai la question.
We'll have the question in French. What part of Saint-Exupéry's life inspired you the most? He was an author, he was a pilot. What part of his life inspired you the most? Well, me, I love the author. It was weird because I was in love with planes, but well, it gave me a lot, especially the way he engaged people. His works are full of reflections and ideas about humanity and things and people. So I find that it should be read. There's many other books like Nightfly. All his novels are awesome, but I am touched by this, by The Little Prince, by this little novel. But it is true that, well, actually, in this little novel, he's already he's already expressing some of the ideas that he would later develop in The Little Prince. In some of his previous works, he had ideas that later he condensed for The Little Prince. He he got to synthesize some reflections while keeping the sense and the strength of it. But now I know his books very well. I had to make an exposition about The Little Prince with sculptures, but the drawings have this strength, this force. They are even more forceful than the text. When we read it, in the end, we don't really understand something, but we love it because of the drawings. And when we are grown-ups, we can actually follow the text better with the drawings. It is related to our lives, but what we remember about the book is that we were all children first, and we remember how we loved the drawings first. This is something, well, The Little Prince it's something that reminds us about our illusions, our dreams when we were children, and what we became later. This is something that allows us to remember how it was not that bad to be children. We could actually just worry about living, and this is what Saint-Exupéry did. He took risks. He took risks when he was a child, when he tried to fly for the first time when he was a child. But the two pilots that actually took him to have his first try on a plane, he had this dream. One of their experiences were not very good. Actually, they died on a crash. All pilots. My grandfather, he was a pilot. At 16 years old, he flew with Saint-Exupéry. And these people, when they got on their planes, they would actually live their dreams, but they wouldn't know if it would become a nightmare, if they didn't know if they would crash and die. And this actually gives more value to life. If we look into Saint-Exupéry's life, we see how he didn't have only one woman. He, at the same time, every time that he would go on a mission, that he wouldn't be sure of coming back. He wouldn't be sure that he will live to see tomorrow. This would give a lot of strength to his friendships. This is fundamental for his everyday interactions with people. He would lose one after the other, and the last pilot that he flew with, Guillaumet, when he died, he would say, "I have lost my last friend. Now there's nothing for me to do." Yeah, at the end of his life, it was very hard for him. He was in a depression. He was already alone. He had lost everybody. He had lost all his friends. Of course, we only had Émile Hippothèse in the end, who killed himself. Well, let's say that he didn't. He just let himself be killed. He was found by the people that shot him down. He was not dead yet, but he was actually dying. And he didn't want the people that actually shut down Saint-Exupéry they would acknowledge his greatness, and they didn't want to actually shoot him down. They knew that he could have escaped. His plane was much more powerful than the planes that shot him down. The testimonies are that I shot him aside, but he didn't want to escape, so I just shot him. I just shot his plane. And later we found out that Saint-Exupéry didn't come back from his observation mission, so I found out that it had been him. But actually, we didn't actually know until some years ago that the person that shot Saint-Exupéry down, he only spoke recently about it.
補充翻就係其實大會準備咗10本小王子嘅 free copy 嘅，咁所以如果頭先問過問題嘅人，你哋可以之後嚟翻呢度攞翻個小王子。
I want to raise my question in Cantonese. Okay. 其實咧，其實我哋香港，我做啲分享先啦。其實我哋喺香港接觸一啲飛行嘅，無論插畫或者一啲卡通啊或者古仔啊，都其實係嚟自日本嘅。即係其實喺香港一啲最出名嘅漫畫，通常都係打鬥嘅。其實就同飛行，即係我哋香港人飛行嗰個想像就通常都係想做飛機師啊，或者想做空姐啊。咁日本就我哋通常由細到大都睇宮崎駿，唔知兩位知唔知道啦？咁宮崎駿嘅漫畫，譬如佢最出名嘅一套叫《天空之城》啦，又或者佢近排嘅作品就講一啲二戰世界大戰嘅時間設計一啲飛機啦嘅設計嘅。咁我想問就係你兩位有冇睇過，又或者對佢嘅作品有啲乜嘢感覺咯？另外就係我問住呢個先，我做一個問題，不過唔係好記得。
Well, then I think that I have seen only one Japanese comic dealing with planes years ago. I don't really remember about it, but it was, according to me, it was about World War II, about the Zero planes. Actually, for us in Europe, the most famous mangas are Dragon Ball, Naruto, etc. We don't really follow the manga dealing with planes. This is starting, of course. the manhwa and other kinds of comics from Asia. Well, yeah, I should do more research about it. I should read more comics about planes coming from Asia. Well, I don't know if you actually read American comics. Do you have those kinds of comics here? And yeah, there is a question over there. The lady in red.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, it's an interesting and lovely night to have all our friends here in Hong Kong. Well, thank you. It's you've talked so many interesting about author and your experience with this book. Besides this little princess, I'd like to know what's your new project. A lovely princess, or what's your plan in the near future? Thank you.
Well, no little princesses, but the new projects that I may have, as I was mentioning, we have Tome 3, Volume 3 of Saint-Exupéry. I'm also doing another comic about planes, about flying. I cannot give you many more details about it. It's a little bit of secret. I'm also working on the serialization of something that it's very famous in Europe. Maybe there's a translation. I don't know how you can translate the title into Cantonese. But I'm working on 3 albums, 3 comics right now. I have many projects, but I don't have the time. That's the problem.
So if there is no more question, one more question here. Okay. After.
My question is actually for the illustrator, because you need to get into the mind of the writer in order to illustrate. Would that lead you to actually have your own writing and illustrate it yourself? You know, because you have to, it's still other people's idea when you illustrate. So does it grow like an urge for you to actually write something so that you know the mind of yourself and then illustrate? So I was just thinking if there's such a dynamic in your minds as well. Thank you.
La question n'était pas que pour moi, je crois.
Well, the question was to whom? For me or for them? Or for the ladies? I don't know.
好多謝你嘅問題。咁其實啱嘅，即係我覺得喺畫嘅過程中間咧，你個腦裡面係會有一啲文字係想透過畫像表達出嚟嘅。咁其實我自己咧都覺得可以用詩同埋畫嚟做一個例子啦。咁因為其實即係中國嘅水墨畫其實都會有幾句詩喺隔離噶嘛。咁所以我覺得文字同埋圖像夾埋一齊嘅時候咧，嗰個感覺會更加強烈咯。咁所以其實我自己身為一個 illustrator 啦，唔可以代表其他 illustrator， 但係我都同意係裡面即係自己會有一啲句子會喺個腦突然間彈出嚟咁樣咯，係啦。
Aria？
唔好意思，我想問翻本地嘅插畫嘅問題啦。咁我想問阿 Aria， 其實喺你畫緊呢啲插圖嘅時候咧，其實本身香港已經都有好多版本係講緊小王子嘅呢啲咁嘅插圖啦。咁但係點樣可以突出今次呢本書？即係你用一啲乜嘢嘅手法或者咩諗法去畫一啲唔同嘅嘢，定係去點樣去突出呢本書嘅咧？
多謝你嘅發問啦。咁其實 係嘅，喺香港其實係出現咗好多嘅，即係唔同中文版嘅呢個小王子啦。但係其實佢哋大部分都係，即係都係雖然都係 based on 呢個原著嚟畫嘅，但可能佢哋嘅顏色都會係用翻啲比較實色啊，或者係因為原著嗰啲睇翻嘅話，其實佢最開始嘅 copy 佢係用一隻係鮮黃色。咁樣就畫晒成幅畫咁樣嘅，跟住即係鮮黃色啦，同埋一啲黑色嘅勾線咁樣。但而香港嘅呢啲其實只係將原著 image trace， 即係可以話係都算係 direct copying 嘅，但係就係幫佢哋，淨係幫佢哋由翻唔同嘅顏色，例如係原本小王子可能件衫係黃綠色咁樣嘅，跟住佢哋可能就會由做粉藍色啊，或者其他唔同嘅色咁樣去令到自己本書更加吸引啦。但係如果係我哋嘅呢個廣東話版小王子，因為就真係想遵從翻原著咁樣，所以我哋嘅顏色係幾乎係 from 即係參考翻原著，係可以話係一模一樣咁樣。直接照住咁樣畫落嚟嘅，但係只不過我哋淨係喺畫嘅呢個手法，例如係用水彩嘅運用啊，或者係即係可能原著佢個星球可能係普通一個深藍色嘅色塊，但係我哋就可能會即係畫翻唔同嘅層次啊，例如係一個星球上有紫色、藍色、綠色咁樣，但係佢嘅但你遠睇其實佢都係 based on 一個藍色咁樣，即係我哋係會嘗試用唔同嘅顏色嚟令到呢個小王子嘅插畫更加豐富、更加吸引人咯。
Due to time limitation, this will be the last question. So if you have any further questions, you may stay behind to interact with the speakers because due to the time limitation. So let's give a round of applause to our speakers. Thank you all for sharing such an inspiring speech.